Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we are checking out Thesku. We read his abilities yesterday, but now we can read them fully, and I really like him. And it's probably a bit of bias because I just think his in-game sprite, his in-game sprite is probably the best in the game, up there with Mishka for me. He's now my second favorite hero behind Mishka. They are nailing these character designs lately, and if they keep making characters with pets, they're just gonna have to keep doing it because they know I love them. So this guy, just take a second to really look at the snakes. It's cool. It's just, this thing is so well designed. I can't even state that enough. But anyway, enough about the looks because he looks awesome. Let's read the actual skills, because he's one of those ones where it's like, maybe it's too hard to meet his conditions, but he just has so much in his kit that I hope he is going to find at least a tech spot in things like, I don't know, like Mahira teams or something like that. I just feel like he's got to find a spot. I really want him to, because he just does offer a fair bit. Also, I think for an early game carry, once you unlock his signature item, I feel like he could be like a reliable front row early game carry. We'll talk about that in a minute too. So the ultimate plays his bone flute and deals damage to all enemies. If an enemy is marked by more than 3, I don't know whether that's more than 3, meaning you need 4, or whether it means 3 plus. I think it is 3 plus. I've done a little bit of testing. It's hard to see, but I'm pretty sure this should be 3 or more stacks, but I could be wrong. It could be 4 or more stacks. Just could be a miswording there. They are petrified and turn to stone, becoming unable to complete any other actions or recover energy for 5 seconds. After the petrification effect wears off, the enemies lose 40 haste points for the following 5 seconds. Not too bad, and we get 300% damage on that one. Next up, the neurotoxicity. Thesku commands his snake Zilisu to spit a deadly neurotoxin on the enemy target with the highest attack rating, dealing 220% damage to them, causing them to become intoxicated. While in a state of intoxication, the enemy is unable to recover any energy and may only use normal attacks for 4 seconds. During this time, damage dealt by the enemy's normal attacks is converted into health for the target they are currently attacking. Damage increases to 240%. The enemy target is intoxicated for 5 seconds. It's basically a 5-second. It's like a 5-second CC, but it's also a heal in itself. This is one of the things I think he's going to be a good early game carry, because he can basically heal himself, because, you know, your carry's like normally the one in the front row taking all the damage. Their highest damage dealer is just healing you up with the damage they would have been dealing. Feel like it's quite nice. Moving on from, and like good support as well, like just basically nullifying a character but also providing extra healing. Not too bad. Next one, the Serpent's Mark, the passive. When Thesku deals damage and with his normal attacks and other abilities, so it's all abilities as well, targets are marked with the Serpent's Mark, which causes them to lose health worth 30% of Thesku's attack every second for 8 seconds, but shall not die as a result. Once the Serpent's Mark has been stacked 5 times, the mark disappears and a venomous explosion is triggered, which deals 260% damage to the enemies and stuns them for 3 seconds. Damage dealt increased. The duration of the Serpent's Mark is extended to 12 seconds. And then this is his E30. The venomous explosion causes enemies to lose 200 energy points. So that's going to be AOE. The one thing I'm not sure on this, I'm pretty, like the explosion, it just says venom explodes, triggering. So I don't know if that's like an explosion dealing AoE explosion damage, or there's just an explosion on them that deals single damage. If that's an AoE and the AoE gives the stun and the energy loss, then it's really nice. And like I said, I'm not sure how this works with the Serpent Mark stack. So his abilities add a stack. So the way I see it is that if his ultimate really is more than 3, meaning you need 4, then when he does ult, it will apply 5, which will make it explode. But if the ultimate actually stuns them at 3, then when you ult, it'll put them to 4, but it'll stun them for 5 seconds. Then when they come out and get hit by another poison, then they'll be stunned for 3 seconds more and lose the energy. So I got to wait and see how this actually works. I tried testing it, but it's just really hard to see. But either way, it's some nice extra energy reduction. Anyway, the one thing that I really hope that is if you ult, and they're on like 4 stacks when you ult, I hope that it would just remain the 5-second stun and not like cancel out the 5-second stun for this 3-second stun. So there's a few things to look at there and just fine tune, but very fine tuning on that. Thesku commands his snakes, whatever they are, to breathe fire upon the enemies within range, dealing 160% damage 3 times to the targets. Enemies struck by the third attack shall have their accuracy reduced by 50 points, crit rating reduced by 30 points, and crit amplification reduced by 30 points for 6 seconds. Effect cannot be stacked. And then we have enemies struck by the third attack lose 70 accuracy, 40, and 40. Damage is increased to 180% of his attack. And then this is the E60. When the third attack deals damage to the target, the negative effects inflicted on them by this ability are extended by 1 second for every serpent's mark on the target currently. Honestly, I don't think the E60 is very important. I think the E30 is the most important one. But the one thing to know about this is that this does hit 3 times. And when I tested it, each time adds a stack of Serpent's Mark. So you're actually getting 3 stacks of Serpent's Mark with this, and this is AoE. I believe it's going to be, it's an AoE, but it doesn't go right to the back. So I think the most you'll normally get is like 3 enemies with this one, but still not too bad getting those poison applications. Next up, each time, this is a really nice signature item in my mind. Each time Thesku has cumulatively lost 20% of his max health, once his current ability ends, meaning whatever active ability he's using, his snake grants him a shield that has a value equal to 15% of Thesku's max health, which exists for 8 seconds. Now, when we look at his 20, that increases to 25% of his max health. So for every time he loses 20%, he gets a 25% extra shield. Like, you could kind of say it's almost like doubling his health, even though, but keep in mind, he can get bursted down, so he could lose in one attack 50% and then get a 25% shield. However, he can heal up, chip damage and stuff like that. And the shield looks awesome as well. That's something else I want to say. But then we add on to that, enemies that are dealt damage enemies that deal damage to the shield have their accuracy reduced by 70 points. So this is effectively, if they deal damage to the shield, they're getting this effect here, and I don't think this stacks. So like neither of them stack. So I think like it's not like if they cop the fire blast or cursed flame, if they cop that and then attack the shield, they're not going to get double the effect. I think they can only get one of them, is the way I would understand it. And the one thing I want to try and figure out is if they attack the shield, it's not technically dealing damage, but because it's putting a debuff, I'm curious to see if attacking the shield will actually apply another mark to them. Once again, it's just too hectic trying to see it in the tests that I did. And then we look at level 30. Enemies that deal damage to the shield have their attack and defense ratings reduced by 20% for 60 seconds as well. So there's a lot of debuffs in this guy. Let's go check out the furniture quickly as well. When an enemy is struck by the ultimate ability Ancient Terror, if they are marked by fewer than 3 Serpent's Marks, they will be marked by an additional 1 mark. So the attack will do 1, so it'll do 1 extra. So if they're on 1, they'll end up on 3 after the AoE, the ultimate ability is the way I understand that. And then this one, Thesku is immune to fatal damage for the first time he is dealt it. And he recovers 25 of his max health, and his energy is immediately restored to 100%. But he will be unable to use his abilities Cursed Flame and Serpent's Guard, being the AoE one that puts 3 stacks on, and his signature item, which is the shield. So he loses them. But I think like his kit just reads like he's meant to play in the front row. He's got so many debuffs, and he's got a lot to him. He's got the debuff, he's got the stuns, he's got the energy reduction, he's got the energy removal with this one. Obviously we have the accuracy, crit rate, and crit amp, and then we have the defense and attack reduction. And then this one is basically a 5-second CC that also provides a heal to your team. I feel like he has a lot in his kit, and he's meant to be played front row. I feel like he's meant to be played front row. Get this one out, put that on the enemies. Even if he dies, he gets instant full energy, so he's at least going to petrify them after that. I don't know. I'm really curious to see the way he plays, but he kind of reads like he should be just a front row, like hopefully he can survive with his shields, but if he does die, he gets an instant ult, and then he's going to petrify some of the enemies. I don't know. I think he reads solid. I always hate it because like I hate trying to make a decision without having properly play tested them, which we will test on Kiasma, but it actually reads really nice. So let's jump in and check it out because his animations are pretty wicked. So let's go in here. I'll leave it on 1x speed. So that's that one with the hearts bubbling up from him. That's when he's like got the mind control, and you can see the ones on their feet. So after we do it, you can see around their feet they get marks. Those are the marks that once they have 3, if we ult, we should be petrifying. So what I'm going to try and see is like, can we get them someone with 3 marks? 1, 2, 3, and then ult. Oh, he's going to die. He's going to die. I was hoping we'd see if it petrified him. After 3. This is the problem. We can't, it's so hard to check these things. But yeah, the hearts bubbling up mean that they're healing with their basic attacks, and the ones on the feet are the stacks. So unfortunately, enemies are too weak in this to test. We'll go in here quickly and have a look. Wait, I didn't even show you guys the ult there. I did it. Oh no, I did. We did it once and we killed them. Okay, that's all right. All right, so let's go here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to bring like a healing team just so we can try and see some stuff. I'm going to put him down the bottom, which isn't optimal, just so like we can actually see what's happening in front of him. I just want to see if we can see. So we're going to leave it on 1x speed. So, okay, you put the love heart thing on Verk. I'm also curious to see the uptime on this ability. So Verk's doing them heals, and now Verk's lost it. Okay, now he goes ahead and does that. Okay, so the Wukong was on 2 stacks. He used his ult, put him to 4 stacks is how it worked there. So that's all right. He's shielded. I'm going to see if this Wukong hits him and get... Okay, the Wukong's hitting him, but the Wukong doesn't look like he's getting... Yeah, it's really hard to tell. It's really hard to tell exactly how everything is interacting. But, and also, you know, low scaling on these things. It's really hard to judge anything too well off of these, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. We will test this thoroughly on Kiasma. But, like, it's one of those things, like, the kit, it seems like he has a lot to his kit. It's just whether it's too hard to activate these petrifications. Like, that's going to be the big thing. I definitely think you'll find, like, niche situations where he can help a team by just putting this neurotoxicity on an enemy at the start of the battle and then, like, basically negating their best attack. And, like, if that enemy has maybe a really strong ability, they're only able to use basic attacks, so that they can't use their CC or anything like that. So I don't know. I feel like this could be really nice in tech situations by itself, but he's got so much more to his kit. So I'm just really keen to see it. I'm just thinking too much right now, so I'm going to shut up and we'll get to testing him later on. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it. Let me know what you think of Thesku. I think he looks absolutely savage. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.